Well, it's official. We're here now. The Mike LaFleur era has officially begun. We're in it. What does it mean? What should it feel like right now? Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. David Bailey had a video get leaked about a game with him versus Arizona State, an interaction with the photographer that's been kind of swept under the rug. Dane Brugler put his the Beast, just huge book out for all of his draft grades and draft analysis. He talks about it. Is it a big deal? Is it something the Cardinals should pass on? We always see something like this come up before the draft, whether it's Larry Tunsil with the gas mask. There's always something that comes up with a top player that gets leaked around draft time. Is David Bailey now undraftable? No fun in the 2026 draft for the Arizona Cardinals, but it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. I'll talk about that in the second segment. But first, it's begun. First day of the offseason program. Mike LaFleur is now officially the Arizona Cardinals head coach and did a full day of coaching for the first time in his career. So this is, while that's not breaking news, let's just take a second and kind of plan out what we're going to be seeing this offseason going into the 2026 season. You're going to see a lot of first experiences again from a first-time head coach. Jonathan Gannon's first game feels like yesterday. It's the wildest thing that the Cardinals are where they are again. You didn't really expect it going into 2025, but here we are with this team. They're in it now. So what I've tried to do is expect things to work. And what I mean by that is not like, oh, it's going to be good no matter what, guys, 10 wins, playoffs, everybody's going to get surprised and, rainbows and butterflies out of my ears and keister. That's not it. They have a plan, and this is the plan. So you've got to trust that their plan is going to put them in the best position to succeed. While history would lend you to think that is the antithesis of what a Monty Austin-Fort built team and coaching staff has done. I kind of see the vision. I see the vision. Is it going to work? Don't know. Is it a long shot to work? Sure. But we were screaming for a plan for years and years and years with Steve Keim. And it just never, we had the years with BA, which was fine. Carson Palmer, that was fine. And then, after that, not so great. Selfishly, Locked On didn't exist back then. And I wasn't a part of it. So I don't really count that. It didn't directly affect me. I was in radio at the time, but it didn't directly affect me with this show that I talk about the team every day. I know that's selfish. I just wanted to share a little inlet with you. My favorite everydayers. You've got Mike LaFleur. It was an arranged marriage. Sure. They both wanted what the Raiders got. Both of them did. It was painfully obvious. But I'm trying to look at this in a way where you can accentuate the positives that Mike LaFleur has. Okay, because that's really the only reason he got a job. He's never had experience. He's been good at this. So hopefully the Cardinals will be good at that too. That's obviously Occam's razor. You bring a guy in who's good at it. You teach the players to be good at it, and then they're good at it. So when you go into the offseason programs, it's like, damn, this offense is going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot better. Even with Jacoby Brissett, say what you want, 1-11, that's fine. The quarterback isn't the quarterback for the future. The offensive line isn't built to its completion yet. But when you look at the skill position players the Cardinals have on offense, I get a little excited, right? Marv, this is a big year for Marv, for sure. You got Trey McBride. You've got the three-headed monster in the backfield. They're going to run the ball very well this year. For those that think this is going to be a high-flying, taking shots down the field 10, 15 times a game, this is a methodical, run-first game that hopefully with his outside zone scheme will be much more effective than what Drew Petzing did. But us being in it now, it's like, all right, so put both feet in. You expect this offense to be better, which is great. because it wasn't great last year outside of a lot of garbage time. Even when Kyler Murray was here, the offense wasn't great. Outside of the first half against Tennessee that they ended up losing that game anyways. There were some spot plays, some exciting plays. Sure, even with Jacoby Brissett, they beat the doors off Dallas, which was great. But you've got to kind of assume the sale here when Mike LaFleur comes in with his pedigree, with where he's been around, who he's been around, the offensive scheme that he's run, that this offense is going to be better. So when I say it's begun, it's like, all right, the list of things that I talked about, when you make a list and you're just anxiety ridden because maybe you're busy, you can't get to these three things. Like, damn it, I got to get to those things. The first one was hiring a head coach, coordinators, moving off from Kyler Murray, and things beginning. Things beginning. Now there's going to be more and more clarity every single day surrounding this team in general. And the hurry up and wait thing between free agency and the draft can be kind of anxiety inducing. It's like, well, damn, this team's going to suck. Okay, well, we don't know really what's going to happen. You don't know which way is up right now. You don't know where they're going to go in the draft. You don't know what they're going to look like on the field. There's a lot of unknowns, and that breeds even more uncertainty about what the hell this team's going to be. And while, again, it seems very obvious, the first day of the offseason program is like, okay, they're only going to get better from here. It's only going to be better from here. And then in week one, we'll see if it works. But this is going to be a challenging year. And every day up until that point is going to be paramount for Mike LaFleur to gain the reins of this team, gain the respect, gain the trust, build the leadership, because he's never done this before from this post, lean on Nathaniel Hackett, lean on Terrell Austin, lean on veteran coaches, lean on the veteran players, and then Nick Rallis is going to be the great bridge between Mike LaFleur and the rest, and especially the defense, obviously, but the entire team. Nick Rallis has been here the last 3 years. These are green ribbon victories. I will attest to that. This goes against the conventional wisdom of me where it's like, why are you giving somebody a cupcake victory for finishing fifth in a race? But this is where we are with this team right now. It's only going to get better. Because if it gets worse, which 3-14, the way it happened last year, it is going to be difficult to make it worse. You're going to have a lot of guys come back from injury. It's going to be better. It can't be much worse. The only thing that can make this season worse than last year is if the offense just is stagnant and it doesn't work. And I find it very, very hard to believe that would happen. It's not just because Drew Petzing's gone. It's not just because Mike LaFleur's an offensive-minded head coach. It's not just because, they Trey McBride's back and they signed Tyler Algier, and who knows, they may draft a wide receiver too. We don't know. Brought in Kendrick Bourne. The offense will be better. If the offense isn't better and this team wins 2 games next year, I think it's going to be very difficult to do that. Cardinals can luck themselves into 3 wins. They've been in a bunch of one-score games last year. A couple of those go the different way. They're winning 5, 6, 7 games. This isn't a fun segment to do because it's like, oh, hey, be excited. About what? We're not sure yet. We're not sure yet. Just, it's going to be fine. More and more clarity every single day. So all the anxiety, all the uncertainty about this team going into 2026, it's slowly going to get massaged out because we're slowly going to start to see what this roster is going to be like, what Mike LaFleur's coaching style is going to be like. And all accounts, Donnie Druin, who was, Cardinal Squad Show, filled in last night. He's going to join me later in the week. He says, so far, so good. No, it's been one day. I know this is a consolation prize, but at this point in the journey of the Arizona Cardinals, you got to take it. You kind of got to be okay with it and happy with it. Maybe crack like a 5% smile, even though it's difficult to smile right now. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. No fun in the 2026 draft, but that's okay. I'll discuss why next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by BetterHelp. Financial stress is something a lot of people are carrying right now, and it's not just about numbers. It can affect your sleep, your relationships, overall mental health in ways that build up over time. And the reality is, struggling with money doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes it just means you haven't had the right kind of support. It's something I've thought about, how easy it is to put pressure on yourself financially without really talking about it. The stress that comes with trying to figure everything out on your own, or the expectations you feel to have everything together, and how that pressure can spill into other areas of your life. So therapy isn't about financial advice. It's about working through the stress, the anxiety, and the emotions that come with it. With over 30,000 licensed therapists and more than 6 million people served, BetterHelp makes it easier to get matched and start focusing on what you need. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lockedon. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Please go to YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals, hit that subscribe button, man. 50% of you suckers haven't subscribed. Subscribe. Just hit the button. Help me out. Don't forget to check out the Everydayers Club, ad-free episodes, members-only Discord, lockedоncardinals.supercast.com. This draft isn't going to be fun. But it's not going to be fun in the way that you don't think it's going to be fun. It's not going to be fun in the way that the Cardinals aren't going to be able to draft any splashy players. I'll give a tip of the cap to Ben Garcia, co-host of ours on the Squad Show. We did a segment yesterday about splash players, like the Cardinals should draft this person. You can watch the show because I'm going to debate with myself, and we're going to go off the rails if I talk about that. But it made me think, like, the Cardinals haven't really been able to make any splash moves. You know, Marv was splashy. Okay. That was a splash move. But they haven't been, like, even Will Johnson last year, when they got him in the 40s, it wasn't a splash move. It was like, oh, well, they got lucky that he's still there, and we'll see. Hopefully his body can hold up and be an excellent pro for this team. But the Cardinals aren't in a position, even at 34, to, like, draft a wide receiver or draft Jeremiah 11-3. Or things like that. And if you think, they're in a position to, they're able to draft Jeremiah 11-3, but they're not able to because they've got 39 running backs, and you can only have 2 or 3 running backs at most on the field at one time. And not even 3. So it's going to be a boring draft. It's going to be all, I'll go back to what I used to say almost every show about eating their vegetables. They got to just draft upfront guys on both sides of the ball. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be sexy. It's not going to be like, oh, the Arizona Cardinals won the draft. It's not going to be that this year. It very well may turn out that way. Draft pundits may look at the Cardinals and be like, hey, I like a lot of the things that they did. They bolstered both sides of the ball. Brought in a good D tackle, drafted an edge rusher, drafted an offensive lineman. If, like last year, if they went defense the entire time, like for this year, if they went defensive and offensive line every pick, cool. Because, like, let's talk about that. If they don't draft a corner in this draft, that's fine. They've got 100 of them. Will that work? Will Nick Rallis' scheme hopefully have some more, healthy players this year? They've got so many corners and young corners. They got a handful of safeties. They got Buda and Rabbit and Keaton Crawford. You might draft a safety in this draft. But what are you going to do? There's no room. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Star Thomas, Max Melton, Will Johnson, Garrett Williams, Denzel Burke. And I know that I've pushed back a lot when people say, well, they've got all these people. It's like, just because you name people on a roster doesn't mean they're good. Well, they've got all these players. It's like, yeah, but you need better players. With the DB room, it's a little bit different. It's like they showed sparks last year, and they are very young. You don't need to get younger in that room. You want to bring in a vet corner? Sure. You want to bring in the best corner on the market next offseason? Sure. But this is going to be bleeper get off the pot for Garrett Williams this year. You hope that he can stay healthy. Will Johnson, second year. Like, Denzel Burke was all rookie last year. Star Thomas was really emerging at the end of the 2024 season before tearing his ACL in camp in 2025. Like, they've got enough. Running backs, you're not drafting a running back. Maybe you take a flyer on a 5th rounder. I don't even know why you would do that. So you look at it and you chunk it down. The least fun thing to do is draft offensive and defensive linemen. Unless it's like, Jalen Carter or, that was what were the most recent ones? Can't even remember. Like, I know Mason Graham went to Cleveland. It's not fun. It's not sexy, but it's efficient if they're good. Pass rush, offensive line, defensive tackle, all the picks. Do it all. Maybe you want to draft a wide receiver. I wouldn't. I don't think you need to. You're going to find out about Marv. So it's not going to be fun because they're going to be eating their vegetables for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 days in the draft. Or should be. And all they need to do is figure out what the most important thing to them is. If that's pass rush, fine. Like, again, I'm going to say to the cows come home for the next 2 weeks that they should be drafting offensive line in the top 10. If they're going to trade back, get more picks, and draft Maui Noah or Spencer Fano at 8 or 9 or whatever it is because they move back, whatever. They need to draft an offensive lineman with their first-round pick in this draft. If they don't, I'm resigned to my fate. I've been wrong so much. The last 5 years I've been wrong. That's not true. With Paris Johnson Jr. But, like, nobody saw that trade coming with Houston. They need help on the right side of the defensive line. They should draft. If they don't, fine. I'm resigned to my fate that that's probably not going to happen. You take the best pass rusher available. Is it David Bailey? Oh, well, we're going to talk about him in the next segment. Maybe make you question David Bailey as a person. I'm not sure. It's a small sample size. There's been multiple reports. We'll talk about it. Is it Ruben Bain? Is it Arvo Reese that Peter Schrager put out where you have kind of a guy who's played off ball, but you're going to move him to full edge? Like, is that going to work? Regardless of what it is. And I don't see edge rusher as a splash thing. Splash is like running back and wide receiver, quarterback. Not luxury picks, because luxury picks are like when I think luxury pick, I think after after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I can't remember which one it was of theirs. And then there was that clip out there of like Andy Reid or Brett Veach, I don't know, somebody calling Patrick Mahomes saying, hey, who do you want at 32? And he goes, Clyde. For Clyde Edwards-Helaire from LSU after they won the national championship. That's a luxury pick. Where after you win the Super Bowl, you want to draft a running back, cool. The Patriots, I think, did it too with Sony Michel. I don't know if they won the Super Bowl the year before. This isn't Locked On Patriots. But like the back end of round one running backs, that's the luxury pick. The Cardinals don't have the liberty of doing that because they have an incomplete roster 4 months before season starts. And they've got number 3 overall pick. You got to eat your vegetables. Whatever that is, I'm fine. You know, if it's pass rush, if it's Ruben Bain, if it's Arvo Reese, whatever. It was trade back and draft Francis Mariano. If it's draft Francis Mariano at 3, fine. But this no fun draft is going to be the best thing, the best medicine for the Arizona Cardinals. Is it going to work? Don't know. Are they going to draft the right players? Who knows? This is a deep defensive tackle draft. This is a light offensive tackle draft. And this is kind of a middle rung edge rush draft. So, listen, there's no perfect elixir for exactly what the Cardinals should do because they need everything. They need defensive tackle help. They need pass rush help. They need offensive line help, probably equally. So the Cardinals need to make a determination on what is more important in the hierarchy of building a roster. And if they punt on the offensive line in the first round and then Mad Max from Arizona State isn't there in the second round, then what do you do? Go D tackle. Cool. Am I going to be blocking on the right side for Jacoby Brissett, or you're just going to throw him to the Wolves again? And then next year, cool, roster is going to be the same. Then you draft a rookie quarterback, and then you have to hope in free agency you can go get a right tackle that works. What if there aren't any great right tackles that are in free agency? Then you just throw the rookie quarterback to the Wolves. It's a compound effect. So when I talk about this offseason and this season being incredibly important, regardless of wins and losses, it's to reset the foundation for the Travis Sham mockery that was last year. New regime, first-time head coach, bridge quarterback, a lot of guys coming back from injury. They need to be able to control everything they can control in an effort to make this roster as good as possible. Now, what does that look like? We don't know. It's very early. Obviously, we're a couple weeks out from the draft. This is not a throwaway year. This is not a tank year. They may not win very many games, but how methodical they need to be incredibly methodical with who they draft, how they build this roster, not only to keep quarterbacks safe and be able to get to the opposing quarterback, but also to lay the initial bedrock foundation for the insane offseason that will ensue for the Cardinals next year with all the money they have to spend and all their draft picks. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. David Bailey, video resurfaced of him getting into it with a reporter or a photographer after they played ASU. What does it mean? Anything? Kind of. Next. YouTube channel, subscribe, Big Dumb Face every day. You know the drill. David Bailey, edge rusher, Texas Tech, is looked to be the best edge rusher in the class. It was Ruben Bain, and then no football was played, and then it was David Bailey, which is, Houdini. But there's a video that surfaced, or resurfaced, I guess. It wasn't under lock and key in Fort Knox, of an altercation between David Bailey and a photographer after the game against Arizona State. So this was from Billy M_91 on Twitter. He's a football guy, okay? He's talking about Dane Brugler, who is arguably the best draft guy on the planet. He puts out this manifesto pretty much, like this huge like encyclopedia of the draft. I don't know manifesto is the right word. This like encyclopedia for each draft he works on for months and months and months. It's genius. It's called The Beast. So it dropped yesterday, I believe. And Billy tweeted this. Brugler in The Beast says the scouts want more consistent energy levels from David Bailey behind the scenes. Also cites the photographer incident against ASU, which I mentioned, which I'm surprised is somehow completely swept under the rug during this cycle. Those are some buzzy words that make me uneasy. More work behind the scenes. Better energy behind the scenes. That's, and listen, this is reported, okay? It's not like he was arrested, for assaulting a photographer. That's not what this was. It was a minor altercation, but this is what people look at this time of the draft. You sniff out, okay, where are the deficiencies off the field for players? Walter Nolan went through this, even though it was a joke. Walter Nolan, after getting to Ole Miss, was a model citizen. He got too passionate about the game of football. How is that a downside? And you saw what his motor was when he played in the handful of games. Dude's going to be an absolute machine. Does this deter people from drafting David Bailey? Does that put Arvell Reese to the Jets more in play? And the Cardinals have to decide between a guy who has had off-field questions over Francis Mauigoa because he could be the best pass rusher in the draft and have it potentially blow up in their face. Can the Cardinals afford to take that risk? Do they have to take the risk because they have no option to wait? I've talked about for years. It wasn't in 2024 and 2025, but I talked about for years. If there were problem guys, it's like Odell Beckham was one of them, and he wasn't a problem guy. Like he was his diva stuff, and when he was a kid and a very young man in New York, and then he went to Cleveland, he kind of cleaned up his act, and he's been great ever since wherever he went. Like production-wise, injury-wise, sure, but he was like, I think I was at a Suns game, and he was at the game, and I tweeted out like, OBJ to the desert, ? Kind of as a joke, speculative. But I was like, the Cardinals could not afford to pass on talent because there were off-field issues, because they needed talent so much. Now it's flipped. Now you need to keep this fragile ecosystem as clean-aired as possible. So if there's questions about work ethic and energy behind the scenes and having an altercation with the photographer, it's like, is it enough to just say, we're good, he may be good, but we don't want any dysfunction to mess up what we're trying to build here? Would they say that? So it's not something. It's also not nothing. And I don't know. Leave in the comments. What do you think? If David Bailey's there, do you take him regardless? And again, I'm not blowing this up to make it look like Days of Our Lives or As the World Turns or whatever soap opera is, and just to fluff this out. It's a thing. It's circulating. He's going to be a top 3 pick, it looks like. Does it matter enough for the Cardinals to say, big board, red marker? Nope. Not enough for us. Would they say that? There's always one or two where things come out around the draft. It's like, is it a big deal? Little deal? Is it worth drafting the player regardless with the character concerns? And again, I'm not saying this happens frequently with David Bailey. I'm just saying that this is what's being reported. So I wanted to discuss it. Because it terrifies me to think that anything the Cardinals do would bite them back immediately in this draft. This needs to go as smoothly as possible. If Monty Osler wants to trade back, fine. If he wants to stick and pick, fine. If he wants to burn it on fire, fine. Whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as they control it and they understand that this cannot be something where they're fighting against themselves after making the pick, especially at 3, where there's immediate concerns. You don't want a Mike, I think it's Michael Williams. Was that his name? The guy that got drafted by Cincinnati who said he was going to go back to college or sit out, and they figured it out. But it's like there were character concerns with him. They drafted him anyways, and there were character concerns after he was drafted. Shocker. Michael Williams, I think that was his name. I could be wrong there. Was Michael Williams the one that 49ers drafted? Doesn't matter. Whoever the Bengals drafted is who I was talking about. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wasn't going to talk about this. I had other stuff I wanted to talk about. But as a last segment thing, maybe put in the back of your mind, like, do you cross him off the board? Or, which happens as much as, it's usually one guy or two guys, something comes out. And then they're like model citizens and they were just young men growing up and they made a mistake and then they were fine in the NFL once they got around professionals and stuff like that. And then you pass on David Bailey and he's all pro. It's like, well, remember that thing with the reporter? No, I don't. Oh, damn it. They should have drafted him. I don't know. Could be nothing. Could be something. It's just something to check. When Dane Brugler puts it in the beast, there's substance to it for sure. So I just wanted to discuss it. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you tomorrow.